Once, in a sky full of stars and secrets, there lived a little moon named Selene. Selene was not the largest moon in the heavens, nor the most dazzling, but she had a light that was soft and kind. Her glow wasn't sharp like a star's sparkle. It was gentle, like a lullaby drifting through the dark. Every night, she would rise slowly over the earth, watching the world with quiet care. She cast her silver shimmer on oceans that whispered to the shore, on mountaintops that dozed in the clouds, and on children fast asleep in their beds. The animals of the night loved her. Owls blinked up at her. Wolves howled in greeting. Even the tiniest crickets paused their songs to feel her light. But one evening, something was different. When Selene opened her eyes and began to rise, she noticed it right away. The stars still twinkled. The sky still stretched wide, but her light was gone. She rose, but no shimmer followed. The earth below looked a little dimmer. The stars around her murmured softly, concerned, but unsure what to do. Selene didn't know what had happened. She hadn't bumped into anything. She hadn't fallen. But the glow she carried every night, the light that made her herself, had quietly vanished. Far below, nestled in a patch of tall grass, a little firefly named Niko stretched his wings. Niko wasn't like the other fireflies. While most were happy to flicker among the flowers, Niko dreamed of something bigger. He wanted to see the world above the treetops. He wanted to fly beyond the clouds. But most of all, he wanted to meet the moon. That night, he looked up and stopped. The moon, his moon, wasn't shining. She looked dim, almost shy. He could barely see her, sitting quietly in the sky like a ghost of herself. And so, without thinking twice, Niko took flight. He soared past sleepy owls, through ribbons of cloud, and into the wide, quiet sky. The wind tugged at his wings, but he flew higher than he'd ever dared, driven by a feeling he couldn't quite explain. When he reached Selene, she didn't say a word, but she didn't need to. He could see it in the way she hovered, hesitant, unsure. And so, he stayed with her. He zipped around her softly, his little light blinking beside her dim curve. He didn't ask questions. He didn't need to. He simply glowed, reminding her, "You are not alone." Together, they drifted through the night sky kingdom, a place hidden to most eyes. It was a world of shimmering trails and stardust paths, where the constellations whispered stories, and time moved like a dream. They passed a comet racing in loops around the sky. Though too fast to stop, he left a trail of gold behind them, lighting their way. They floated past the great cloud bear, who slumbered on a blanket of mist. He rumbled in his sleep, and though his words were slow, they were wise. He reminded Selene that even the sky has quiet nights. Even the brightest lights take time to rest. They visited the star painter, who stood on a ladder woven from moonbeams. With gentle strokes of his brush, he swept color into the sky. He told them that sometimes, when a light seems lost, it's simply learning to shine in a new way. And through it all, Niko never left her side. As the night drifted on, Selene began to feel something. It was small, just a flutter at first, a memory of warmth, a flicker of light inside her, like the echo of a smile. The more she listened to the stars, the more she remembered who she was. She remembered the wolves that sang to her, the oceans that danced beneath her, the children who dreamed under her glow. She remembered the beauty of watching, of holding the night in stillness. And slowly, she began to shine. Not all at once, just a soft glow at first, barely enough to light the sky. But Niko blinked with joy and spun in the air beside her. That tiny firefly, glowing with all his might, had helped her find her light again. Brighter and brighter she grew, until the stars twinkled in celebration, and the earth below basked once more in her soft, silver glow. From that night on, Selene never forgot that her light lived within her, not in the sky, not in the stars, but in the way she gave herself to the world. And she never forgot the little friend who reminded her. And Niko, he became the most famous firefly the meadows had ever known, not because he glowed the brightest, but because he flew the farthest with the biggest heart. And high above them all, the moon and her light watched over the world together again.